One love to the humble, one love to the humble, one love to the humble. May grace and peace be multiplied unto you. These glasses got a glare in them. I think I'm gonna just keep them on anyway. Whatever. But anyway, so the question is, I got a video request from, I believe it's brother Micah. Brother Micah got a video request from Micah. So the request is advice to a young black man who may be interested or thinking about joining the military. Because I was in the military, and so uh, he was asking, what do I think? What advice do I have, right, for that? And I'm gonna tell you this straight up. You know, I personally think that for a black man, that is probably one of the best things you could do for yourself is joining the military. Now, you know, whatever branch you choose, I can't tell you what branch to go into. That's up to you to decide. You know, you go talk to whoever you want to talk to, and they tell you what they got, and you decide based upon that. So I'm not going to tell you the branch, but I will tell you joining the military itself is probably one of the best things you can do as a black man. And a lot of people will tell you otherwise, and everybody got their reasons and everything like that. I'm going to keep it straight up with you. I'm not going to try to. My experience is my experience. So all I can tell you is my experience. And it's everything in life depends upon how you choose to use it, right? The opportunities that you have, how you use those opportunities to your benefit, what your perception is on the situation, all that comes into play. Now you got to know why you joining. You need to know clearly why you're there. And if you don't know, by the time you get ready to get out of basic training, AIT, you need to know the reason why you're there. And if you came there, if you ain't figured it out and you don't have a strong why, you ain't gonna make it. Now that don't matter what branch you join. You're not gonna make it if you don't have a strong reason why you want to be there. Because the structure of the military and the way they do things is very different from civilian world. Very different from life out here in the civilian world. It's not the same structure. Nothing is the same. Now you got to understand that. That's the first thing. You can't go in there with that attitude that you had out here and the way way we do things out here. You're gonna have to be different. You're gonna have to understand it. And whatever they telling you to be like, you gotta be able to conform to that way. If you're not conforming, you're not staying. They don't want you there if you can't conform. Now there's gonna be a lot of people to tell you a lot of negative things about conforming. But if you don't want to conform to the things you're doing, how do you expect to succeed? If you don't want to conform to whatever you're doing, I don't care what it is. You have to become that thing that you're doing. If you're working at McDonald's and you getting fries or you cooking fries or you waiting on people to come in the store, you have to become that. You have to embody that to be good at it. But if you're straddling the fence, you're not gonna be as good as you could be because you do one foot in, one foot out. When you join the military, you're gonna have to figure out whether you're gonna be all in or all out. Because if you decide to go all in, the sky's the limit. There is no limits to what you can do. The difference in the military and civilian world, there's a cap, meaning like you don't get promoted unless somebody wants you to get promoted. If there's a position for you, in the military, it's not the same. Your promotions depend on you. If you meet the time in grade, meaning your rank, if you meet the time to get that rank, that's a rank you're gonna get just because you met the timeline. Now you can speed that process up if you embody what you're doing and become the best version of yourself as you can. You can speed that process up. And every time you get promoted, that's more money to go in your pocket. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna hand feed it to you. If you don't want it, you don't get it. But if you want it, it's yours to take. It's up to you. It's up to each individual. It's an individual effort. It's not dependent upon your promotion at the lowest level is not dependent upon someone else doing something. It depends on you as an individual. You get what I'm saying? That's what it depends on. And there's so many great benefits to being a part of it. If you coming out the hood where you barely making it and everybody, your life is on the line in the hood, you ain't really making no money in the hood, it looks bleak, you ain't gonna be able to go to college, and you know that, and you struggling to get a job, and the best job you can get is fast food, then The military ain't like that. As soon as you join, yeah, you gotta start at the bottom. Unless you got some college education, then you might get a couple of ranks up when you join. But for the most part, you're gonna start at the bottom, and you just continue to grind and continue to work your way up, because you're gonna get paid no matter what you do, no matter how much you work. If you work 10 days that month or you work 30 days that month, your paycheck gonna be your paycheck. It ain't gonna change because you don't go to work. It ain't gonna change because you got sick and you couldn't work, or you got hurt and you couldn't work. You still gonna get paid. Your pay would never change unless you get in trouble and lose rank. Then maybe it would change. But as long as you do what you're told to do, be where you're supposed to be, and be on time. Remember those things right there if you join the military. It's all you got to do. You don't have to think. You don't have to figure nothing out. There's a leader that's going to be there to tell you what to do. Until you become a leader, you do what you're told to do. If you have a hard time following orders, then don't join. Don't join. You got to be able to follow orders, because somebody's life is on the line if you don't follow orders. When you go to if you have to go to combat, you need to be able to follow orders. You don't need to be trying to tell somebody what you ain't gonna do, because you're gonna get everybody else messed up. That's why you got to be able to follow orders. Okay, so like I said, um, be where you're supposed to be on time, and be in the right uniform. That's easy, and they're gonna tell you all those things. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you where to be. They're gonna tell you what uniform to wear, and they're gonna tell you what time to be there. And that's all you gotta do is make that. That's easy. But some people make it hard for whatever reason. I don't know why, but because they can't follow orders, or they got the wrong mindset and the wrong perception. The military is not a difficult thing to accomplish. It's hard as you make it. That's just being real. Now, the other thing about it is, you're gonna eat. The food is right there for you. You're gonna always have food to eat. If you're living in the barracks and you're not married, there's always gonna be the dining facility. What they call it now, the DFAC. When I joined, I'm old school, so we call it the chow hall. You know what I'm saying? The chow hall. You can go to the chow hall, get you something to eat, get some food at the chow hall. You know what I'm saying? And get some good old get some good old chow, and then you go on about your business. You can eat breakfast. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna eat every day. There's always gonna be food there to eat, no matter what. And if you're living in the barrack, if you got married, if you got a wife, then you can live in the on post housing. Don't move on post when you lower enlisted. Stay on post and live in on post housing. They gonna give you, if you live off post, they give you extra money to live off post, called BAH. They're gonna give it to you to live off post, and you can pay your rent with that. You ain't gotta come out your own pay. They're gonna give you money to live off. They'll pay you to live off base. But I would suggest you live on base to be closer to work until you get up in rank. But right while you get lower enlisted, you want to stay in base housing if you're married. If you're not married, you live in the barracks. All of it's gonna be free. You see what I'm saying? It's all gonna be free no matter what. All you gotta do is be where you're supposed to be on time, and be in the right uniform. That's it. Follow directions. Don't be talking back. Don't be acting like you tough and bad. You don't know nothing. All you need to do is just follow orders. That's it. They ain't gonna, if nobody asking you nothing, don't you be saying nothing. I mean, to your friends and stuff, it's cool. But to the leadership, if you ain't asked no questions, don't you say nothing. You just you show what you about by your work, by your actions, by being in shape, by by working hard, by doing what you're supposed to do. Volunteer yourself to do things. A lot of people gonna tell you don't volunteer. I'm gonna tell you to volunteer. Set yourself apart from your peers, and you will move up in the ranks a lot quicker than those who don't know how to play the game. And it is a game you gotta play. It's a game you play. But see, I embodied it. I became it. I did everything that was required of me and plus some. I would volunteer myself to do things that nobody else didn't want to do. Because guess what? When the rewards came, my name was the first one to come up in the mix. When the promotions came up, my name was the first one to come up, because they know that I was willing to go above and beyond to make it happen. Because I wanted the money, I wanted the rank, I wanted to move up. I ain't want to be down at the bottom playing around. I ain't coming here for that. I came here to be the best that I could be. And I learned a lot about myself. That's another thing. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and what you're really capable of. The things you think you're capable of way more than that. And you're going to see that when you get there. You're gonna see how much what you capable of, and you can't have a weak mind. Hopefully, when you go to the boot camps or the basic training, they get that out of you when you're in there. You'll learn that you're a lot stronger, you got a lot more will, and you're mentally tough, or you're gonna become mentally tough. You have to become mentally tough. Don't be one of them wimps. Don't be crying. Oh, I miss home. I miss my mama. You'll get a chance to go back home. Just do what you do while you're there in basic training. Then it's college. Once you get through basic training, get to your duty station, start taking courses, start going to school. School is gonna be free. They're gonna give you like $5,000 a year to go to school. Not out your money, not your GI Bill money, none of that money. I'm talking about they're gonna give you $5,000 to go to school with every year that you can go to school with. Get your education. Now you gonna have to do it. You ain't gonna be able to do it like you do it out here, where you go to a 4-year school and you stay on the campus. You gonna have to take it online, and then you gonna have to work around what the army got you doing. Because the military, whatever branch you join, that come first, then everything else. So you still can find a way to get it done. Just don't be lazy and make excuses. Oh, I ain't got time. You got time. Don't be hanging out all night, every night. I ain't saying don't go hang out to the clubs, because I know you're gonna go, because that's what they do. That's the culture. They're gonna hang out. They're gonna drink a lot. They're gonna do all that. But I'm telling you, if you can stay away from them all that drinking, and you can stay away from all that clubbing, that's gonna be your best bet. But if you can't help yourself, you better be very, very disciplined when you go out there to them clubs and drinking and all that, because you can get a lot of trouble real quick. All right, but get your education, go to school, and don't get out. Do your whole 20 years. Retire from the military service, because you don't got to do but 20 years to retire. If you join in at 18, 19, at 38 years old, you retire and you get a full retirement check plus VA benefits, VA money. You can get up to like $5,000 a month VA benefits from your claiming all your injuries and things you got over the years on top of your retirement check, depending upon your rank. You can be getting like $7,000, $8,000 a month at 38 years old for the rest of your life. And that's gonna go up with inflation every year. You don't gotta worry about working out here, doing these jobs out here. You're gonna get 30 days worth of leave every year. You're gonna save up 30 days leave. You can save up to 30 days leave, and you can take 30 days at one time, depending upon where you are in the world. If you overseas, they give you can take that whole 30 days off, come back home to the States. And guess what? You still get paid the same money while you on leave. You don't miss no money. Never stops. It never stops. Ain't no reason why your money gonna stop for no reason. Even if you get in trouble, it's not gonna stop. You may have to lose rank. It may go down some, but it's not gonna stop. As long as you keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, your money never ever changes, ever. Unless you get promoted and you get more of it. But it ain't no like, well, I ain't go to work today, so I don't get paid today. That's not how that works. You're on a salary. You get paid no matter what. I mean, so many benefits to it. Don't get caught up in the nonsense people gonna tell you. They're gonna try to tell you like the same thing they told me when I joined back in the day. Oh, don't join the white man's army. They'll do this, don't do that. I'm glad I didn't listen to them. Now these days in my life, I don't have anything to worry about. I'm talking about nothing. And all I had to do was 20 years. Now, I did more than 20, but you don't have to do but 20 years, and you can have a good rest of your life. You see what I'm saying? And then you can come out and still get another federal job and retire 2 times, while most people still ain't retire the first time. You join in your 20s and then you retire at 40, you can go get another federal job to 60, and you done retire twice, and the average civilian still working until they 65 just to get a disability check. And you can triple that, quadruple that almost. And then you still can work again if you want to. I'm just saying, man, so many great benefits to doing it. A lot of people can't do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to be disciplined. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do. But that's why they got to do the hard stuff. The harder you do things, the harder you work. As far as, put it like this: if you take it easy in your 20s, you're gonna have to work harder later on in life. If you do the hard thing in your 20s, it'll be easier later on. And you gotta make the pick on how you want your life to be. You better get in there and grind and do it right now while you're young, and you still got what it takes to get it done. Versus, and that way when you get older, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit lighter load. I'm not saying you won't have to work, but you don't gotta do nothing you don't want to do. And don't nobody quit a job quicker than a veteran. You know why? Because veterans get all their retirement, all their veteran of disability checks, retirement checks. They go to a job just because they want to do something. And when the things ain't going the way they want, they quit. Why they quit? Because they don't need to work. They don't stop their mortgage from getting paid. Don't stop their rent from getting paid. They don't stop groceries from getting on the table. They don't stop that because you already put the work in for life that you ain't never got to worry about that again. So you go do whatever you want to do, whatever that is. But there are some good jobs out here in the regular world too. But I'm just saying, for the most part, if you talk about military wise, the best thing you can do is join in the earliest you can and do the whole ride. Is it gonna be all fun and games all the time? No. It's gonna be some hard days. But all that is worth it in the end. Everything that you thought was hard, when you get done with it, you're gonna be like, man, I'm glad I did that. And you're gonna be a much stronger individual when you come out than when you went in. And all your friends, you're gonna see you're not the same as them anymore. You're different now because you've grown to a point that they can't understand. You're gonna be in shape. You're gonna develop a culture of exercise, working out, taking care of your body. You're gonna be the best you ever been. You ain't gonna never be able to stop working out. Even when you get out, you might not work out as hard when you get out, but you're still gonna be. It'll be easier for you to get back to it versus a person who ain't never done no kind of exercise, no nothing. They ain't gonna be as strong as you mentally or physically. You're gonna be the best version of yourself. I'm just saying, man, joining the military is the best thing that I ever had happen to me. My medical bills, I don't have to worry about paying these crazy medical bills that people gotta pay. But I got insurance. You gonna have insurance too. Right now, you gotta pay all this crazy money just to get seen by a doctor. You don't gotta worry about that if you join the military. That's all gonna be taken care of for life. So that's my advice. And oh yeah, let me touch on this. This whole thing about racism and all this and that. Man, that's not tolerated in the military. I don't care what people come out and tell you because they got hurt, they got their feelings hurt, or somebody said something to them they ain't like, whatever the case may be. Don't keep listening to all that nonsense if you ain't never experienced it. There's zero tolerance. There's places you can go in the military. There's organizations in the military that if you report that stuff to, somebody gonna lose their career. It's not like out here in this world. There's a whole other world in there. It's a whole other world in there. It's nowhere near like being out here in this world. It's not the same thing in there. Okay, what you heard, okay, what nobody tell you, I'm telling you right now, it's different. I used to be the one in charge of that EO stuff, the equal opportunity stuff, the racial stuff. I was the one, the go-to guy. When everybody had problems or whatever, they would bring them to me because that was one of my that was one of my other duties that I had. You see what I'm saying? I know this stuff like the back of my hand, and I know what they'll do to you if you do anything racial or anything like that. But anyway, I'm telling you, man, the best thing I can tell you if you're black and you know that your future ain't looking too good, get in there. And even if you don't stay 20 years, you did a little bit of time and got out. The things you're gonna gain for that little short period of time is gonna boost you ahead of a lot of people. You're gonna get introduced to people and things and know some people that you can get into some higher paying jobs if you didn't want to do 20. There's still connections that you make and things that you're gonna learn that you'll benefit from even if you don't do 20. You just can't meet people like that on a regular. You don't come in contact with certain people unless you're in certain environments. And the military is those environments where you can come into things and you start learning about jobs in the civilian world that you would never be introduced to had you not joined. So I'm telling you, from me to you, if you're thinking about it, don't think about it too long. Go ahead and get it done. Y'all take care.